Hey guys, yes, I know, different setting for a reaction video. Well, that's because it dawned on me, and it just popped in my head, that when I was planning to do a reaction video to what it is that I'm reacting to, and, as you read the title of this reaction video, I thought to myself, why not I do it in this setting? Just why not? And thus I am doing it. So yeah, and this is not going to be a new setting for reaction videos. I will do this setting occasionally, and I say occasionally, like if there's a video that I plan on reacting to, and if it pops my head, I'll do it in this setting. Thus, that'll happen. But yeah, I mean, because you guys know that I've sometimes used green screen for reaction videos, most of the time when I have a guest with me. And you've seen me in this chair, of course, and, I would have the camera, right here, facing me. You know what I'm talking about, and you know how I've done reaction videos in, different settings. And this is a new one. But again, as I said, this will be occasionally, I will occasionally do this. Ugh. Okay, but with that out of the way, yes, I am reacting to another Nostalgia Critic video, which being the Nostalgia Critic's review of The Great Mouse Detective, my all-time favorite Disney animated feature film. I just knew I had to do a reaction video to this, and when I got the notification that this came out, I was like, oh boy, of course I have to do a reaction video to this, obviously. Because yeah, The Great Mouse Detective being one of my all-time favorite Disney animated feature films. I've established this before, and, it's no secret, because The Great Mouse Detective, I love The Great Mouse Detective. Definitely, it's an underrated Disney gem, and I don't know, in my opinion, and I know that there are those like myself that think about this, that The Great Mouse Detective was just at the peak of the Disney Renaissance. I mean, we all know that The Little Mermaid officially began the Disney Renaissance, but I don't know. I mean, The Great Mouse Detective, the film got Disney back up on its feet, especially after the disappointment of The Black Cauldron that came out a year before The Great Mouse Detective. So you get my point. But yeah, and yeah, I mean, Doug Walker, he's reviewed The Great Mouse Detective before for Disney-cember, and yeah, no doubt, because he has some appreciation for the film. So yeah, this is going to be really exciting. Obviously, he's going to talk, him as the Nostalgia Critic, and as the Nostalgia Critic has evolved, well, no doubt about it, the Nostalgia Critic's going to say some nice things about The Great Mouse Detective. So, yeah, that'll be pretty exciting. And I'm waiting for an ad to finish, so yeah, especially ads that play on TV, on YouTube, yeah, because sometimes they could be a pain. But anyways. Alright, and I also do have a snack with me, as I sometimes would, so. Alright, so everything's set and ready. We shall begin in 3, 2, 1, play.
So brought to you by...
Oh, wait a minute. I actually had it muted. Let's try that again. 3, 2, 1, play.
This episode brought to you by Bespoke Post. Get your box of awesome today.
And we've got, of course, the intro. I'll turn the volume down just a little bit. Hopefully that's good.
Hello, I'm the Nostalgia Critic. Gotta remember it so you don't have to. Here's a fun fact. This is one of the earliest movies I saw in the theater.
Yeah, that's right, because if I remember correctly, Doug did mention that.
Not that it was the absolute first. I saw a couple before this, but two of my earliest and favorite movie-going experiences are seeing this and An American Tail in 1986. They were the perfect big screen movies to introduce to a kid because they were small characters living in a big world, allowing you to embrace on the big screen a gigantic universe you recognize but saw from a different point of view. Sometimes it was grand, wonderful, other times pretty damn freaky. It was so much what I wanted a movie experience to be like, and it helped that it had decent characters and story too. Based on the book series Basil of Baker Street, it stars a rodent version of Sherlock Holmes because the 80s were really trying to make Holmes a thing again.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was not a success, but doesn't get talked about as much in terms of Disney animated films, and that's kind of a shame. It has what might be Disney's best pairing of a hero and villain. Two energetic and egocentric geniuses who obsess over destroying the other.
Agreed.
There haven't been better Disney heroes or Disney villains, but in terms of equally matched arch nemeses, like two sides of the same coin, I really can't think of a duo in this animated library better matched than them. It's a simple yet stylized, intellectual yet action-packed, cute yet dark, tiny yet grand cinematic adventure. And we're gonna look it over here today. Over 35 years later, let's take a look at the history of Darkwing's Tickle statue. This is the Great Mouse Detective.
Darkwing Duck? Because...
80s Disney, where if you said, that's too dark, your folks said, that's the world. We opened in London during the late 1800s, where a toy maker named Flaversham, voiced by Alan Young, gives his daughter Olivia...
Future Scrooge McDuck. I don't think he was Scrooge McDuck yet. I don't think.
You made this just for me?
Wow, you created Rodent Amica just because I turned 5? Yeah, Flaversham is pretty much Skynet producing Barbies, so no surprise, others want his talents for evil means.
Actually, no, because he voiced Scrooge McDuck
80s Disney, you little shits.
in Mickey's Christmas Carol.
PG for rude humor here. This is 80s G and all its glory.
Rude gets synced to a PG rating.
After 4-year-old me was traumatized, we cut to a mouse named Dawson, who just retired from the Queen's Regiment.
Mommy, hold me.
That hits different. That's Val Benton voicing him, by the way. And if you're thinking, man, does he sound like the Sultan from Aladdin? Disney thought the same thing and had him replace Douglas Seal as the Sultan in future Aladdin projects. Which is like such a thin, lanky guy. He played short, pudgy characters quite often.
I think I might have forgotten about that.
He stumbles across Olivia, who says she's searching for the world-renowned detective Basil to help her find her kidnapped father. Perhaps we'll find a sunny day in this film too. Actually, wait, no, there are no day shots in this entire movie at all. 80s Disney was the best. We find Baker Street and wait for Basil's arrival as... We might have a Peter Sellers murder by death situation.
Who are you? That's the Baker Street, my good fellow.
Yes, they were gonna go with the glasses with the slanty eyes in it, but Disney said absolutely not. We don't want to be confused for a cat. Basil is voiced by Barry Ingham, and he brings an infectious amount of eccentric energy and charm to this character that could easily become annoying, but instantly pulls you into the excitement of whatever he's excited about.
Yes.
You know I was a doctor. You sewn your torn cuff together with a Lambert stitch, which of course only a surgeon uses.
It's also great to see a Disney lead that's full of himself, overly dramatic, and doesn't really change that much by the end.
My dad is gone, and I'm all alone.
This is a most inopportune time.
Most Disney leads would have to confront these flaws, or they'd have them be the comic relief. But it's part of what makes him so fun and memorable. We recognize these flaws in ourselves at times, and like that there's a character that not only learned to live with them, but often uses it to his advantage, helping drive himself closer to his goal of catching his nemesis.
The horror of my every waking moment, Professor Practicum.
He's so evil, his teeth show whenever his name is mentioned.
Yeah.
This, of course, leads to our introduction of Ratigan, voiced by Vincent Price. And in my opinion, this is one of the most inseparable animated performances I've ever seen.
Oh, by the way,
One of my all-time favorite Disney villains.
Your daughter brought here.
Don't get me wrong, there's plenty of great actors that match great animation, and there's a lot to be praised about that. But if you were asked to, you can close your eyes and imagine these actors talking in a recording booth. It's not that big a stretch. Radigan's gestures match so well with Price's voice, my mind cannot split the two.
I would spend many a sleepless night.
Well, they animated Radigan and Vincent Price's facial
This
features.
animation breathes this voice. It'd be like hearing the
Yes.
music of Sorcerer's Apprentice without thinking of Mickey Mouse. It's damn near impossible it matches so perfectly.
Let me show you how it works. What? That's not the case. I haven't had a moment's peace of mind. Though frankly, I expected you
It's just
15
amazing.
minutes earlier.
The only other anime characters I can think of that work this seamlessly are Robin Williams as the Genie and James Woods as Hades. And sure enough, all these actors the animators watched and worked in their movements, slithering into every dragged out whisper and chomping into every emphasized roar.
Oh, how sweet. It must be ready tonight.
Important to
I can hear
detail.
these voices without connecting them to these characters, but I can't see these characters without connecting them to these voices. There's plenty of animated characters that feel alive to me, but these guys just exist on a whole other plane.
You proud to be a part of it.
On that note, Radigan is basically the same as Basil, egocentric, brilliant, and overly dramatic. He just also happens to be on the side of evil, using the toy maker for an evil plan.
Yep.
We are about to embark on the most odious, diabolical scheme of my illustrious career.
Oh, so Bill, glad to see you finally landed.
Yes. Yes. There's an ad. Okay. Yeah, that's right, because Bill makes an appearance in The Great Mouse Detective. It's like, you know, it's like say Disney just brought back Bill, you know, back into acting for this. Like, I don't know. You get my point. Like, I don't know. Think of example like Roger Rabbit. You know, like Bill was called in. Like, hey Bill, we're considering you to be in The Great Mouse Detective. You get my point. Like something like that. So, and because I mentioned Roger Rabbit, so okay, back to it.
Seeing how this is one of the few Disney musicals that only has one impromptu musical moment, I'm glad it's a villain song.
Yep. It's a good villain song.
Confirmed widows and orphans were drowned in this G-rated universe. And seeing the competition that came out that same year, you can guess who one of them was.
Oh god.
I love that being called a rat in this crime world isn't insulting because someone's a snitch, but because someone's literally a rat.
Yes, right, a mouth.
I like his design is more rat-like too compared to all the other mice, and again, kind of an interesting parallel to the competition that also had a villain with rat disguises. Radigan tosses the drunk naysayer to his pet cat, Felicia. I couldn't help it. I derived something with the word that, and it's already in your name. What would you do?
He's
Basil
dead.
decides to take the case once he finds it, well, serves him, as he questions the motives of his fearful foe.
Question is, what would he want with a toy maker?
I mean, what kind of toys does he make exactly?
Oh, I love it when they're nasty.
Oh
His
god.
henchmen or henchman
You had to.
is seen outside the house, so Basil chases after him.
Hello, Miss Flamhammer.
Flaversham.
Whatever.
Yeah, there's a running joke about Basil mispronouncing the last name Flaversham.
Mm-hmm.
Flamhammer.
Flaversham.
Whatever. Miss Flanchester.
Flaversham.
Whatever. Miss Flamhanger. Whatever.
Which I guess is cute, except for the fact that he clearly pronounces it correctly later.
Northern Flaversham.
So he's just dicking around with them most of the time, I guess. Actually, he'll make
Yeah.
I can see him doing that. Okay, why do Disney houses always have such classy mouse holes?
Oh, yeah.
German music on the program. It is introspective, and I want to.
And the voice of Sherlock.
Fun fact, it actually is Basil Rathbone, arguably the most famous Sherlock Holmes, playing Sherlock Holmes. But I am disappointed they didn't get the original actor who played Toby. He delivered that line like a rover. Toby follows this and to fidget to a toy shop.
You be good now. We're going to find my father.
Yeah, Olivia's always one yippee away from being obnoxious, but they know when to scale the cute stuff back and give it more of a bite. Even the toy shop is kind of unsettling. Like this toy reminds me they remade Dumbo. And don't you know the new Disney rules? There should be like 11 Disney cameos in this scene, not just one.
Yeah.
Fidget kidnaps Olivia, Yeah, for kids in the 80s, quicksand and bags became like our biggest fears. And he manages to escape with her.
Now she's been spirited away by that maniacal little monster!
Basil screams at Dawson for not watching her closely, causing him to feel awful.
It's not entirely hopeless. We'll get her back.
Little character moments like this do add a lot of heart and urgency. It shows there is a part of Basil that can get out of his own head and legit cares, separating him from his criminal counterpart.
Your charming daughter.
Olivia! One of my favorite theater memories is how hard everybody laughed at this one line. I already had
It's
a hard
true.
time finding Halloween costumes every year.
Good one.
Just one time to live a little more in sports.
Okay. Well, no ad there, but like sponsor from Doug. Yeah, and yeah, that was pretty funny. Well, and it's true, like, the joke we get from Fidget, the one-leg bat, because, well, he has a one-leg foot, and his regular foot, yeah. So, yeah, it's funny, but again, it's true, because, you know, my only foot. Yeah, because that's his only foot. Anyways, and by the way, because the voice of Fidget, Candy Casito, I think I'm getting the full name right. Like, he had done a lot of voice work for Disney, like, that kind of voice, you know, and his most notable voice roles are, like, the Indian chief from Peter Pan, Ho, and one of Maleficent's goons, like, the pig slash, like, it's not, I was about to say warthog, but no, just the pig, like, if it was a warthog, then the tusks, but no, just like a pig-like goon, and also voiced alligator, crocodile, whichever which, from Robin Hood, you know, the Tournament of the Golden Arrow will now begin. And also, he even, I didn't know this, like, for a little while, that he was the voice of one of the apple trees in The Wizard of Oz, like, the one that had the most talking, like, you know, what do you think you're doing? So, yeah, man, like, talk about, like, his voice acting work for years, like gosh, like, back from Wizard of Oz, and if I recall, like, he did a lot of radio, and he did some songs, stuff like that. And not to mention, speaking of songs, he has a singing voice role in the Haunted Mansion in the Graveyard. It's like, I don't know, some people say that he's like that one ghost is one of the hitchhiking ghosts, but I don't know. But enough said. Back to the video.
Basil looks over the note that Fidget left behind and hopes to gather some clues from it. This is a minor thing, but I really love that Basil's a cartoon character that mumbles to himself.
Well,
not that he's the first or anything, but it wasn't something you saw often. It's a little touch that makes him feel a bit more real.
This reaction could only
True.
be triggered by the paper's extreme saturation with distillation of sodium chloride.
He deduces it came from a pub by the riverfront, so they disguise themselves and sneak into a place called the Rat Trap. Isn't that a great name? I'm always a sucker for smoky places like this where they play poker, throw punches, and toss shit at the stage. Also, I guess mermice are a thing in this world? That must have been a fun note for the background artist to read. Yeah,
I did notice that.
I'll make sure. On page 5, you said draw a... I didn't misread that. Okay, we put a naked woman in Rescuers. I'm used to these mouse movies being On that note,
True.
I know a percent of you watch this scene asking, do I need mics now?
Fantasize over cartoon mouses?
Disney actually had a hard time, pun totally intended, getting this past censors because it was deemed too risque for a G film. Again, all the smoking, drinking, on-screen and off-screen deaths were fine, but this was pushing the limit. They eventually convinced them by
Like, they don't
saying,
care.
They're mics, so nothing questionable is going on. I think a lot of questioning was going on with people after watching this scene.
And the parents, probably.
I know a mouse hole I wouldn't mind getting stuck in. Oh, come on, baby, don't be like that!
I was thinking about
But
that!
so small, slap that hard.
I was thinking of Gadget.
Okay, Fidget, just as a brawl breaks out, and they follow him to Radigan's hideout. Radigan has been expecting him, though, and I just love how childish and petty he shows him up here. I half expected a picture of his ass mooning them to drop down as well. Which, knowing the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can Google that, of course you can.
Of course. It exists. I have no doubt.
Execution to give them, so he decides on all of them. God, I love this villain.
Yeah. That's why he's one of the I think one of the best.
Technically only one song that's off the cuff in this, and the others are ones that are planned out. Like, it doesn't need to be a musical in order for them to exist. With that said, even the ones that could have just been phoned in are real toe tappers.
Yep. Yeah, this is one.
Legendary composer Henry Mancini did all the music for this. And
Yes.
he's so crazy talented, you almost forget that this also has his name on it.
Oh.
Radigan makes his way to Mouse Buckingham Palace. How do some of these my civilizations work? Well, pretty advanced, actually, as the toy maker creates a robot of the Queen to appoint Radigan as the new royal council.
Who cares, you know? It's just there in the movie.
Has the Queen's new noted oil perfume gone to her head?
Another... Yes, okay. Alright, another ad. Yeah, and by the way, like, the mouse sequence, like the dance number at the rat trap, that was originally supposed to have Michael Jackson, like, do a song number, and I guess there would be, like, a mouse that kind of resembles Michael Jackson. But all that I know is that Michael Jackson was supposed to do a song number, probably in the rat trap sequence, but they weren't able to, you know, get Michael for this. So we got this in the final film. So yeah, and yeah. By the way, because Gadget, and because like Gadget walking by the Nostalgia Critic, I was thinking about Gadget, and I was going to mention Gadget, but thank you, Doug. Like, yeah, thank you, because I called it technically. So. Okay, another ad. Yeah, sometimes these ads, you know, well, what can you do?
Basil feels defeated, but Dawson convinces him he can still save the day. Again, I like it's less about him and his friends getting killed and more about somebody being smarter than him.
Radigan's proved he's more clever than I. He would never have walked into such an obvious trap.
Unless it was set in a leather bar or something. Basil finally gets an idea, because I guess every last gangster was needed to take out the guards. I mean, I don't know, they were pretty easy to take out to me. Nobody's there to stop it. As expected, this escape is pretty inventive.
Yep. We'll set the trap off now.
I, too, don't know how I missed the Mythbusters where they prove that is fact. They get to the palace and stop the Queen from
Why
getting
couldn't the
eaten by
Mythbusters do that?
Aha, so Biden recently saying God save the Queen still makes no sense.
Oh, brother.
They show the robot is a phony and rush Radigan. I kind of love this one goon who's like, well, she's got an umbrella, I got a gun. I lose. Radigan escapes, though, with Olivia.
But that's funny.
Hey, where you are, or the girl dies.
You didn't...
I don't care if she dies. Disney produces kids like a childhood trauma factory.
You didn't talk about the part where
Radigan's blimp with their own balloons.
Felicia is defeated.
Inventive this movie is. But Basil and Radigan smash in the big bet.
Even Fidget, he drowns. Radigan throws him.
This is the first time an animated film has ever used CGI, and it looks pretty seamless.
Actually, it was the Black Cauldron.
You really feel the size and weight of these gears, and as Basil continues to use his smarts to get out of trouble, Radigan loses his patience and reveals himself for the monster he really is.
Showing his true colors, like this is where he goes ballistic.
This whole scene is just beautifully animated, edited with high adrenaline, and again, pretty intense for a G-rated flick.
Yes. This is how evil Radigan is right here.
Jesus. Thank God those women were mice, and this would have been too much for kids. This, though, Frank, can you make it sound more like he's gargling blood every time he's hit?
Is it blood? Because, I don't know.
It's Disney. We can't leave the kids unscarred. Seriously, this is
Just
right
fur.
up there with some of the best action sequences in any animated Disney film. It's short, but it's effectively put together.
Yep. And there will be more after this.
Falls to his death and takes Basil with him, resulting in a pretty decent fake out. It's actually hard to figure out how he would survive that. But again, because he kept his cool,
Yeah.
figured an inventive way out.
You can just imagine.
Don't bring the balloons too close to my propeller. No, of course they get back safe, and Basil says goodbye to
That was
his
good
friend
editing,
Nikolai,
Doug.
despite never getting her name right.
I'll never forget you.
Nor are you, Miss.
80s Disney, man.
I didn't see that coming.
Come on, Olivia.
Let's go before they realize they never made a Scrooge McDuck joke.
Is this the
Ah,
home of the
yeah.
famous Basil of Baker Street?
Another client enters the home just as Basil announces Dawson is his new partner.
Isn't that right, Doctor?
Yes. By all means, professional or romantic, yes.
And thus they officially became partners in crime, you know.
Detective. Okay, it's no Beauty and the Beast, but it's still pretty fun and entertaining.
Absolutely.
A lot of that is centered around the hero, the villain, and the animation that brings them to life. Not to say the other elements of the film are bad by any means, but they're a bit more what you'd expect with an animated kids film at the time. These two characters and their joy/obsession with their work and with each other is really what helps it stand out. The slight edge it has with the sometimes mature imagery that never goes quite too far also adds a welcomed harshness and excitement.
Mm-hmm.
It's just good fun with a smart hero, a smart villain, and a lot of inventive ingenuity. I hear more and more it's growing a bit of a fan base, and I'm glad to see that. Because if you checked it out, you know that'd only be elementary.
Elementary.
Gotta remember it so you don't have to.
Elementary, my dear Watson. Okay. And isn't it a shame? We know by now that time knows how to fly. So here's goodbye so soon. We'll go our separate ways. With time so short, I'll say so long and go so soon. Goodbye. I had to, because I love The Great Mouse Detective. Again, one of my all-time favorite Disney animated feature films. I don't know how many times I have to say that. It's true. Yeah, but that was good. Yeah. Of course, Doug, as the nostalgia critic, saying some great things about The Great Mouse Detective. And it's true, it's no Beauty and the Beast, but it's still fun and entertaining, of course. And hey, it's also no Frozen, Lion King, you name it. And like I said, I don't know, because, before this came out, again, The Black Cauldron, that was Disney's biggest failure, and then a year later, this came out, and it got Disney back up on its feet, even though it lost to An American Tail, at the box office. But still, it was a success. And then with Oliver and Company, that did pretty good, and during that same year with Oliver and Company, Roger Rabbit, that definitely was a huge success, and then a year later, The Little Mermaid happened, and boom, the Disney Renaissance officially began. And what would come next? Yeah, I tell you, Disney made animation history. And you know what? Because another thing about The Great Mouse Detective is that, it saved Disney. And hey, thanks to, Basil himself, solving the case, saving Disney. You get my point. Yeah. So, and that was pretty funny, because, while I'm thinking of it, because the balloon popping and they fall. Oh, that was great. And, yeah, and also, Doug, doing a Scrooge McDuck joke because of Flabbersham being voiced by Alan Young. I was, I was wondering, if there was going to be any mentionings of Scrooge McDuck. When you listen to Flabbersham's voice, because how eerie, he almost sounds like Scrooge McDuck, and the fact that, yeah, Flabbersham is voiced by Scrooge McDuck. And by the way, because speaking of Flabbersham, yeah, as Doug points out, and I kind of had forgotten about this because of it's a running joke, Basil always mispronouncing the name Flabbersham, but he said it right once, and I think, and as Doug pointed out, the many times that Basil was mispronouncing the name Flabbershim, like, probably he was doing that on purpose and just poking at them. You get my point. Yeah, and as I mentioned, it's a shame because, like, Doug did not point out, say, the defeat of Felicia, Radigan's cat, because Felicia was chased by Toby, and Felicia's defeat, because, like, goes over a gate and, like, ends up, being attacked by the royal guard dogs. That was pretty funny. A funny defeat for a Disney villain, and for Fidget, yeah, the one-leg bat, Radigan's sidekick, because as they're escaping in Radigan's blimp, they have Olivia hostage. It's a bit too heavy for Fidget to pedal, and telling his boss that they need to lighten the load, and Radigan, and just, again, great animation, just going, "Oh, you want to lighten the load?" And Radigan, because he deliberately throws Fidget out of the blimp, and, Fidget's like, I can't fly, and he falls down into the water, and that's it for Fidget. Like, I guess, he drowns, basically. Well, because he can't fly, so poor Fidget, and again, the Big Ben sequence, amazing, and, like, I think, my opinion, still to this day, the CG to the gears inside Big Ben, I think, still hold up, and Doug was wrong, as I pointed out. The Great Mouse Detective was not the first Disney hand-drawn animated feature film to use CG. It was The Black Cauldron. It used a bit of CG. So there's a fun fact for you. I mean, I guess, good reason why people say that The Great Mouse Detective is, they cite that as being the first Disney animated feature film to use CG. Well, because The Black Cauldron, very underrated, and it didn't do so good. So you get my point. And as we all know, they would continue to use a bit of CG in the hand-drawn animated feature films, most notably in Beauty and the Beast with the ballroom sequence, and the wildebeest stampede in The Lion King. Yes, because amazing. I think, hey, they still hold up too. Those shots in the ballroom and the stampede, just fantastic, That's what's important, always make sure, and I'm sure they did, they made sure that it would still look good, for years to come. And I think it still does, And yeah, by the way, because I'm surprised, I'm surprised that Doug didn't even bring this up, because the voice of Basil was the same guy who guest starred in an episode of Star Trek The Next Generation. It's true, because any of you Trekkies would know this. There was one episode in Season 2 where the Enterprise D transports, Irish folks, and yeah, the voice of Basil being one of them. And by the way, another one of the Irish folks, the voice of Basil, who plays one of them, his daughter in the episode, actually did the voice of the Blue Fairy in some Disney games, I want to say. Yeah. So if any of you know what I'm talking about, and for you Trekkies and Disney fans, so yeah. And another thing is, yeah, again, Professor Ratigan, and how much Doug talked about Ratigan and Vincent Price, and, how, and it's important, the Disney animators, taking references and facial references from those who voice the characters, again, from, Vincent Price's Ratigan, and from Jeremy Irons as Scar, Jonathan Freeman as Jafar, you name it, because it's amazing, and that's what's important, very good detailing, I tell you. But overall, what a great video from the Nostalgia Critic reviewing one of my all-time favorite Disney animated feature films, The Great Mouse Detective. Doug did not disappoint for me. Yeah, it was good. And what about you guys? What did you think of the video itself of the Nostalgia Critic's review of The Great Mouse Detective? And what did you think of my reaction? Leave comments and give this reaction video a like, as always. So, with all that being said, thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed my reaction to the Nostalgia Critic's review of The Great Mouse Detective. More reaction videos coming your way. They're going to be awesome. Keep looking forward, and I'll see you guys in the next video /reaction. Take care, and peace out.